Hey y'all, I recently read Dangerous by Shannon Hale. It's been out for a little while and I just never really got to it. Honestly, I think that I wasn't really drawn to it because it's so drastically different than what she usually writes. I love her Goose Girl series. I love her Princess Academy, Book of a Thousand Days, all of those. I love them. They're so magical and whimsical and happy and they're cute and I like them a lot. I've been reading them for years, but this one, you can just tell. Look at that cover. It is not going to be about some cute little girl who talks to geese, right? It's going to be so different. But I finally read it, and I really, really, really liked it. But I also didn't. So things that I liked. Her writing is really well done. She's very, very talented, so I liked that a lot. I think that her characters are great. She gets a good variety. I liked the diversity in this book of her characters. And just the way she tells stories is just done very well. I didn't like the pacing at the beginning. I felt like it was taking too long to get to the plot, but I also recognized just by reading the inside flap that she needed to get past the backstory to get to the real story. So even though the pacing was way too quick, I understood that there was a purpose to it, so it didn't bother me too much. Then I felt like the pacing got better. I never felt like it was slow, if anything, a little too fast. But the whole plot, well, I don't want to give too much away. Basically, some kids that go to like this space camp thing, including main character Maisie, become heroes. I'm just going to put it like that so that you can read it on your own and understand. But they become heroes, and then as these heroes, they are supposed to fight this alien race that is coming and taking over humans' bodies. And in that way, I felt like it was a retelling of Stephenie Meyer's The Host. The Host it's been years since The Host came out. The movie took a while to come, though, so there was... the movie's newer, people remember it still. And I love The Host. I think that one is really, really neat. Very unique, very original. And I kind of felt like Shannon Hale was doing such a similar thing. And I think there were enough differences that this book can stand on its own and still be unique and still be exciting. But I think there were enough similarities that people are always going, after they read hers, if they've read The Host, they're always going to think, The Host. You know what I mean? And so... in that way, not so great, But, like I said, there was enough difference that it's not the exact same storyline, just the premise is similar. And I guess if we're being honest, that premise has been happening over and over and over. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, that was in like the 70s or something. Same idea. These aliens taking over humans' bodies, posing as the humans, continuing to somewhat live their lives in reality, right? But you can always tell that it's not the same as the person who was in there before. Something is off, whatever. Like in The Host, they can tell by the eyes, and in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, they can tell because people just like act weird and look vacant and whatever. And then in this one, similar thing. The eyes are wrong and people are acting funny and you can just tell that it's not the person you knew before. But again, I guess, because like I said, that storyline has been used so much that I guess it's just one of those, I wonder if we could almost label it as like the classic story, just like fairy tales and True Love's Kiss and Boy Meets Girl and the savior storyline that we see in so many stories as well, including this one. There are these repeated stories that people talk about all the time. I just think that each story needs to have a little bit of its own thing so that you don't think of other books as you're reading it, at least not as strongly as I thought of The Host while reading Dangerous. I'm hoping that this is making sense. I don't really know how to explain it because obviously every book, something is going to remind you of something else. I was recently reading, I actually stopped reading, I don't want to get into that right now, but I started reading Future Perfect. I didn't keep going, so I'm not encouraging you to read it or anything, it's up to you. But I started reading Future Perfect, and it's about a girl who her grandmother is concerned about her weight gain. And I was reading that, and I've read Artichoke's Heart, which is another story about a girl who's dealing with being overweight and life in the fat lane, and so I've been I just think that books about weight and society's view on how we should look is fascinating. I'm very much into that. Anyway, total sidetrack there. But all those 3 books have things in common because they're all about weight gain and weight loss and dealing with it and being yourself and understanding who you are and blah, 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 right? So we're always going to read books and think of other things. That's just going to happen. Rarely will that not happen, very rarely. But the connection was just too strong. And so that really kind of, honestly, it just bummed me out. Because like I said, I still enjoyed this book. Her writing is still good. Her characters are interesting. The differences are also, the differences compared to the host, like it does have its unique aspects. I was just kind of bummed. I was kind of like, Shannon Hale, come on. You know that Stephenie Meyer's written this. You know about that. But it is what it is. I still did enjoy it. I still liked it. It was still exciting. I still was turning the pages and interested. But I like her cute little fairy tales better. Princess Academy and Goose Girl and all those. They're just, I don't know. But I didn't like Shannon Hale's adult fiction. So maybe I feel like she should stick with her little fairy tale world. I don't know. I guess I don't have a good solid opinion on this. I liked it and I didn't like it. But the reasons I didn't like it, again, pacing at the beginning, but that had a purpose. And then the connection to Stephenie Meyer. So if that's the only reason that it irked me, I don't think that's a good enough reason to say don't read it. So read this book. If you like Shannon Hale, I think it's fascinating to see her do something so drastically different than what she's so well known for. I've actually met Shannon Hale twice, and the second time that I met her, she remembered me, so that was really exciting because one day when hopefully I am published, I would love to just sit down and chat with Shannon Hale, like go out for smoothies or something. So hopefully she continues to remember me. But anyway, like I said, I think that you should read this, and then let me know what you think. And if you've read The Host, talk to me about similarities, differences, if you think they're too similar or if you think it's fine. And also, if you haven't read The Host, you should, because, like, I liked Twilight years ago. I was very into it in high school. But then as I grew up and went to college and things like that, I recognized that the writing's not so great in those books. And some characters are very flat. But she nailed her audience. She was successful because she wrote something that teenage girls wanted to read, and they all loved it because it spoke to them. But I really did enjoy The Host. So if you've read this and liked this, and if you're not worried about thinking things are too similar, try The Host. It was really good. I think that she labels it as an adult novel, and so Stephenie Meyer does, and so I just think that maybe she wrote at a higher level than she did for Twilight. Like, she's very talented in understanding her intended audience. That is true. Anyway, try this out. Let me know what you think. And keep reading.